Hi there. It's been a busy morning. I've been out all morning, which is very pleasant. Now I'm home again and I just had some lunch and I really need to get on and make another casserole, vegetable one this time, so I've got that to do. I did finish yesterday the cake with sweet potato in it, so I got that to finish off too. I was so pleased to get it done because I promised to make it last week and I had several people asking me hadn't I made it yet, so now at least I've made it. So I get that finished and then I want to make another cake, I don't know yet what cake I'm going to make, but anyway, I want to make another cake for a friend. My composter has arrived. The only trouble is, of course, it's all in pieces which need putting together. And at the moment I'm lost for somebody to put it together for me. And yes, I could try myself, but it would take so long and I've got other things to do. And unfortunately, every time you stop to do a new thing, present things don't get done, and that's just difficult because it just puts everything back. And what else? Oh yes, and tonight we're going out. Well, I'm going out with a girlfriend, actually to the WI. It's a Christmas party, so that should be great fun. So it means going out and having supper, so no cooking for us today, so that's very nice. So that means he's going out with my girlfriend's husband, so they're going out for a meal or something to eat, and they'll take Alice with them, so Alice will be all right. So all's well. So yes, what else? Oh yes, well the composter arrived, so that's good. I'm terribly excited about that. I know where I'm going to site it, and I think I've got some cardboard to put in the bottom just to make a base. And we're going to take the bin over tomorrow to where I'm going to put it. It's in one of my gardens, because we don't have a garden here, which is really very sad, but there you are, one of those things. At least I have got a garden, which is grand. And I'm just going to finish off the kale that I picked yesterday. I used some of it last night to make a new dish. You know you have red cabbage, pickled red cabbage, which you have at Christmas time. Oh, any time actually. It's lovely, I adore it. Anyway, I thought to myself, why couldn't you make, sorry, I've just dropped a knife. Why couldn't you make a spicy green cabbage or kale? So I made up a batch last night and we had it with supper, and it wasn't bad at all. I had used, I think, a little bit too much cider vinegar in it, so I'm going to take out a little of that. But of course, if you didn't have to eat it straight away, if you were going to leave it in a Kellner jar, say until Christmas time, it would be fine because it would have mellowed, which it always does. I mean, vinegar is always stronger when you first use it. That's why you have to leave chutneys for at least a few weeks before eating them, if you possibly can. I mean, they're all right to eat straight away, but you should leave them so that the flavour mellows a bit. Like a casserole, if you make it one day and eat it the next day, and it's much better. The flavours have had time to develop, so it's jolly nice. Anyway, so I made this thing, and it's got mushrooms and red pepper and red onion, I should say, and the kale and some balsamic vinegar and some cider vinegar, and then I put some of those seeds that we bought in the summer from one of the craft fairs I went to, food fairs actually. So I'm going to make some more of that. And my apple and onion marmalade that I made the other day, that's rather nice too. I just had a little bit, and I got another big jar which I'm going to keep for Christmas. Because these are all things that are quite nice to have. And when you're eating cold meats at Christmas time, it's nice to have a homemade preserve. So that's that. And then what else was I going to say? Oh yes, I don't know if you've seen my blog yet on Maraschino Cherries. Yes, I think I shall still remember them dearly from childhood when I used to eat them, and sort of in my teenage time when I saw them in my parents' pub, because they had the jars of the red ones, and I think they had green. I didn't try the green ever. I didn't ever remember eating a green one. I don't think I fancied that. And apparently you could even buy blue ones, which I simply wouldn't eat at all. But I suppose they look pretty in a cocktail glass, which of course is great. And perhaps on top of ice cream. But I still don't fancy the blue, so I wouldn't try the blue. But you can now. Yes, so they've had quite a history of how they've come to be in this present day and age, when they are brined and then loaded with colour and loaded with flavour. They actually used to be made from a cherry in Croatia, which was crushed and squeezed. And the resultant liquid, which was clear, colourless, they called a maraschino liqueur. And then they used to preserve whole cherries in bottles of this liqueur, and they came known as maraschino cherries. So that was fine, it was an old-fashioned, by our standards, method of preserving fruit. Local to the area in Croatia, like we have chutneys or, butters and fruit leathers and all those sort of things. They all start off as cottage industries, and they're great. But of course, supplies, are not easy to maintain, so other cherries had to be used. Anyway, look, have a look at my blog. There's a whole lot of stuff about it. I could write more. So I think, yes, these cherries I had the other day, which actually weren't called maraschino cherries, they were called dark cherries, which is why I was so surprised when I bit into one that they tasted of maraschino cherries. I don't know why they're called dark cherries. I have no idea about that at all. I must look that up. Perhaps there's something on the web about that. Could very likely be. So that was quite interesting. So I think I still like them, but it does make one pause to think a bit about the process of producing them. But the other exciting thing is I found a website where this person makes cakes, and she, on her website, has a recipe for homemade maraschino cherries. Now it's a 3-day job, so you've got to allow plenty of time and facilities and time and place and area in your kitchen where you can leave all this stuff while it's marinating in the liquid. So when you're not terribly busy, I think that would be a time to do it. It might be quite fun though, and then you could have your own maraschino cherries, and you could perhaps, if you were going to make a special cake, you could put the cherries on top or chop them up and put them in the cake or in the frosting. But we'll see. So that will be quite fun, and I think they're infinitely preferable to the commercial ones from an ethical point of view. And they'd be darker colour; they wouldn't be that bright red. But I don't think that's any problem. So perhaps that's why these ones are called dark cherries, because they are made by a small concern who can make them without brining and chemicalization. That may be it. I'm going to look that up. This is absolutely fascinating. I love to cook and I love handling food and photographing it. But to actually know more about it, gosh, and I just realised I've been talking for ages. I'm going to switch off. Look, I must get on with my cooking. I'll chat to you again very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.